All right, let's make sure I didn't skip anything accidentally. I haven't yet, and as you can see, that right numbers in word and expanded form is now up at the same level as everybody else because of the quiz. So again, in Khan Academy, you don't have to get the 100% right away. If you get the answer right in the quiz, then you get your points back. And that's the way I think education should work in general. When you improve, when you master a topic, you should get your points back. The idea that you can fail a test and ruin your grade is absurd and needs to be gotten rid of. Regroup whole numbers. Write a number that makes this equation true. Okay, so we've talked about equations before, but I want to make sure I double check that. I want to make sure that I sort of reiterate the definition. When I say equation, that specifically comes from the word equate, which means equals, okay? If it doesn't have an equals, it's not an equation, all right? If we just had like half of an equation, we call that an expression. And that's important because, again, when you're communicating in math, if you say something that doesn't match what you actually mean, it's going to confuse you and it's going to confuse everybody else. So that's why I harp on these things sometimes. Regroup whole numbers. Okay, so if I have 50 tens, well, that would be 5 hundreds, right? Because I would take 10 of the tens and cram them together, and 10 of the tens and and there would be 5 groups of 10, so that's 5 hundreds. 5 groups of 10 tens. So if I have 500 ones, well, that's 5 hundreds. And again, we are developing more fluency. We are being able to notice that you can have more than 9 ones. You can have 572 ones and 4 hundreds, and then combine those together, and that's a thing that you can do. And this is sort of a hyperdrive version of the borrowing thing that we talked about before, right? When you're subtracting, like, I don't know, 17 minus, like, 9? No, 27 minus 9. Sometimes when I make up problems off the top of my head, they don't work out well. In this one, in order to do the subtraction, we had to recognize that 20 plus 7 is the same thing as 10 plus 17, right? That whole regrouping thing. We had to note that we could peel 10 ones off of the 10 groups in order to utilize them to do this subtraction. And I'm not even going to finish answering this. It's 18. And this is just sort of a super-powered version of that. We're just noting that if I have 500s, I can break them up into 500 ones. Write a number that makes this equation true. So if I have 4 tens, well, that means that I have 40 ones. If I have 40 tens, well, that means that I have 4 hundreds. I hope that you can see that we are laying so much groundwork for everything. This is division and multiplication. This is exponents. This is the decimal system. This is even the metric system works this way. So this way of pulling apart and regrouping numbers is very important, and it's something that we all do in our heads when we do mental arithmetic. Hundreds, tens, and ones. I am ready. Which number represents the same amount as 100 plus 5 tens plus 12 ones? So we got to be careful. These 10 ones, I'm going to move over into this tens group. So I still have 100, but now I have 6 tens and 2 ones. I can take 10 of the ones and move it on over. But when I do that, it's no longer, it doesn't look like a 10 anymore, right? It just looks like 1. That's kind of a confusing way to put it. I hope that made some kind of sense. The answer is 162. This is a good time for me to remind everybody that I am not actually an elementary school teacher by trade. I am not here to be giving lessons to little kids directly because I know that my explanations probably aren't great in that regard. But I am here for those of you who have kids and want to support them. This video is for you. These videos are for you. So let's see. So this is the same thing, except, whoa, too close. Except now we're doing all of the conversions, right? If I have 489, well, that is indeed 4 hundreds and 8 tens and 9 ones. But we could also say that we have 48 tens and 9 ones. Or we could just say that we have 489 ones. All of these are valid and correct ways of organizing the number 489. Which expressions represent 342? Well, not A, because this would be 306. What was the number again? 342. I think B is correct. Yeah? If I have 14 tens, well, I can pull 10 of those to make 100, so that's 3 hundreds, 4 tens, and a 2. 342. This isn't right because that would be, I think, 720. No, that would be 720, right? Because 40 tens would make 400s, so I would have 72, okay, or 720. So that was wrong. D though, 300s plus 42 ones, absolutely correct. What number represents the same amount as 2 hundreds plus 12 tens plus 6 ones? Well, I see 326. Yes. Bow, bow, bow. I'm trying out the air horns. They probably won't stick.